and exercises and everything that is related, that is concerned in helping developing winner's mindset. In our country and the world over, there are billions of people who are suffering from victim mindset. And because of that mindset, they are suffering a lot. They not only they are suffering, they are making others around them suffer. So this is my purpose, to develop winner's mindset. In this podcast, I bring experts who help us deliver their wisdom to help us in conversion from victim mindset to winner's mindset. Today's guest is an amazing personality, Dr. Premji Nirmal. Dr. Premji Nirmal is on a mission to engage 1 lakh individuals to become world class digital coaches and certified practitioners. He has his own Prem Tao personal coaching model. What he around 20 plus countries, coaches of 20 plus countries are attached with him. They have taken benefit from the training programs of Dr. Premji. Dr. Premji is an expert personal coach. He used to take classes in IITs and the management institutions. He's not only a very good human being, he's a very effective trainer, very effective coach. He has published research papers in Kriya Yoga and the meditation, and also in the sound healing. His work on sound healing is amazing. I think there are only few number of people in the world who are dealing in this. So we are very honored to have Dr. Nirmalji with us. Welcome, sir. Welcome in this show. I
Thank
welcome you
you.
on my behalf
Thank
and
you
the.
very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Jain. It's my honor to be here on your show.
Dr. Premji, we know about you now. You are now in a very good position. You are helping thousands of people around the world, in India and around the world. But it would be much better if we know your journey, so that it can help in the transformation of others as well.
Yeah. All right. So let me tell you that I was born and brought up in a very small village of Kutch, the western side of India in Gujarat. And up to seventh standard, I was in the village. The population of village was less than 1,000 people, and I was schooling in a school where only one room was there, and first standard to seventh standard, all the children will be sitting together, and only one teacher. So that was the condition then. And then on the eighth standard, I came to Mumbai, and my further schooling continued. And I joined Vijay for doing my graduation in electrical engineering, and I did post graduation in energy cybernetic strategies, which is a business strategy program from West Germany. Dr. Muse was the founder of that EKS program. And then I had my own stint with the corporate world. I worked for about 3.5 years in various organizations and started our own industry called Nirmal Power System, which continued for 21 years. We were into manufacturing of electronic goods. But my heart was more into working with the people, helping them to remove the suffering. And my spiritual journey continued because I had been interested in meeting many masters, and lots of blessings of the masters came on the way. So we started this Tao Meditation Center in April 1997, and we started conducting yoga and meditation classes, and that prompted me for the research in yoga and meditation. I was personally feeling that yoga and meditation is fantastic for improving the not only the physical health but mental emotional health as well. And very systematic research we conducted, and we published the research paper in the international journal. And for last 7 years, I had been very intensely doing research in sound healing, different sound frequencies, and that really helps a lot in healing. So it's not just the body healing, but it's also the mind healing, emotional healing as well. So that's my story in short.
As you mentioned, you started with your own industries. Then you mentioned you moved into. So, is there any trigger point, or what exactly moved you from that to this?
Yeah. You see, I had been running the industry with my wife, and it was a family business. We were doing very well. We were even exporting the goods manufactured in our factory, and very good business. So I have seen the life traveling to different countries for the business and all. But what I was seeing that because my background is from village, I have seen ample suffering of the people. So my inner search was, how do we remove the suffering of the people? Doing business, earning money is one part. Okay, it is helpful, no doubt about that. But my search was, how do we remove the suffering of the masses? And that's why I was doing research and meeting a lot of spiritual masters. And I met my master, Sri Dadagavan. You see the statue behind me?
Yes, I
Yeah,
can.
that is he's a it's a statue of my master, Sri Dadagavan, who was also a person from the same place in Thane, where I'm staying right now. And in 1991, I met him, and that was a life transforming experience. I conducted some serious experiments in meditation, and that brought about the breakthrough in the inner domain. And after that, I was into semi solitude and silence for almost 5 years. And in 1997, when I got invitation from Theosophical Society to give a talk, after that I started talking to the people. By now, in last so many years, I have traveled to 20 plus countries and touched the lives of more than 300,000 people who have come in contact with me, inspiring them to go deeper inward, helping them to do breathwork, kriya, meditation, take help of sound frequencies, heal themselves completely, find the life purpose, and make the life more meaningful, more enjoyable. That is the purpose with which I had been roaming around the world.
Thank you so much for helping so many people who making a positive change in this world. You mentioned the word life purpose.
Yeah.
So how it help people? Actually, most of the people I met that they are not aware about this thing, or maybe because of the rat race they are running in the. So most people don't even think of the hyper things. So how you make them think and transform their life?
Yes, you see, the most of the people who are in the corporate world, they do understand what is the mission, the vision of the company. Because it go to any
Yes,
corporate company, you will see in the reception, big panels where the mission statement is there, the mission statement is there, the quality policy is there.
yes,
But that's all about the company. But you see, every individual also must have the mission statement, the vision statement, the policy, the value system. And that is what is missing big way in the corporate world and in general, either way. So many CEOs of the company, when I go for the corporate training, I ask them, what is your mission statement? They normally tell the mission statement of the company. I said, no, that is for the company. What is your mission statement? And most of the people will be blank on this question. So, which prompted me that we really need to help people to find their vision statement, their mission statement, their purpose of living. Otherwise, the life becomes meaningless. I have seen many rich people getting heart attack at around 42 because they have money, they got everything, but then they find the life is meaningless. I have done very special counseling, which is called death counseling. People who are on the deathbed, maybe 2 or 3 days before the death, normally there is a proper counseling which helps them to leave the body peacefully. That's called death counseling. So because after I learned my counseling and all, and I was a spiritual person by then, people started helping, wanting help for the dying people. So that was my charity project or a social project for the cause. And I met hundreds of people who are on the deathbed, typically say cancer patients or anybody who is on the deathbed. And that was a tremendous learning experience for me. You know, 70-year-old man, 80-year-old man, literally tears running down their eyes and feeling that they have wasted their life because they did not find the life purpose and they went on blindly in the rat race earning money. Some of the people I interviewed were super rich, but you see, they were also feeling very, very empty in their heart at the time of death. And that in itself was a tremendous insight for me and a learning experience. And that prompted me to devise a methodology so that even a common man can find the life purpose. So I launched a program, Find Your Life Purpose. I devised the methodology, questionnaire, quiz, all possible ways, created the mind maps, created the PowerPoint presentation, all possible ways, even the villager, anybody who is uneducated also, with those triggers, person can start thinking, and few minutes time to maybe few days time, person will stumble upon one's own life purpose, and life becomes meaningful. Majority of the people I have met, they have no idea about what is their exact life purpose because they don't know the methodology of how to find one's life purpose. Some people find it intuitively, something is guiding them, intuition happens and they come to know, and then they stumble upon it and they walk the path. But majority of the people are in the dark, they are not able to find their life mission. The meaningfulness of the life, the purposefulness of the life starts only when one finds life purpose, becomes clear about it, and starts walking the path meaningfully.
Very well. As you mentioned that the death counseling, I have read a book some time back, Die Empty. That book was wonderful, and I also believe on dying without any regret. And as you
Yeah.
mentioned, I also used to say people that whatever you want to do in this lifetime. The red race will continue, but if you know your life purpose, if you know what you want to become, who you want to become, or what you want to do that. Not for others, but for yourself. Uh, Doctor, you have started you are founder of School of Happiness and Success. What exactly it is?
See, majority of the people, if you, I did a survey with more than 300,000 people. What do you want? Top three answers of my survey are health, wealth, and happiness. So sequence may change. Somebody says wealth, health, happiness, but all the people, top three are health, wealth, and happiness. So all the human beings on the planet Earth, without any exception, everybody wants good health,
Yes.
everybody wants sufficient wealth, and at the end, everybody wants happiness. Okay. So health, wealth, and happiness is a need for every human being on the planet Earth. And so I thought there should be the school that gives the education on these lines. See, when I look back, of course, I attended some of the best institutes. My school was very good in school. My college was number one school in the city in India. And I think I got very good education. My post graduation happened from West Germany, one of the best muse system. So I feel myself lucky. But at the end of spending, say, 10 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2, those many years, and then so many years of research, what I feel is somehow this educational system is okay, but not producing the human beings who will live life meaningfully. Somewhere, yes, some people are good, so they find the job, they survive, they earn, but education is not making people uh, who will be powerful, who will be fully aware, alert, evolved human being. So somehow I felt that our school and college education is not contributing in a way to the evolution of human consciousness. And because I met many spiritual masters and I started working on those lines, and I started doing research in the science of consciousness. There's a word called noetic sciences. I'm one of the noetic scientists. So noetics is a science where we study the consciousness and how the human consciousness evolves. What makes life more meaningful? There's a proper science for that. I started studying that science, and I found that there's a tremendous need for all these things, and it's not available in the schools and colleges. So I launched my own school, which is the School of Success and Happiness. The first thing that people want is they want a decent income. So success is important in the outer world. But once they have the sufficient wealth and the income is steady, then they start searching for happiness. And that's where the spiritual education, life education comes into picture. And that's very much wanted. That is why this launching of School of Success and Happiness, which gives the value education, life education, evolution of human consciousness, finding the life purpose, enjoying the life, walking the path of enlightenment and liberation, making this lifetime the last lifetime, no more coming, no more going. That is called living liberation. So that spiritual dimension is missing in our school and college, and that's why people are so much directionless. They're groping in the dark. Majority of the people, they don't even know their life purpose. They are living life meaningless, and that's why so many people are dying of heart attack and all. And because when you see the futility of life, the futility of living, the meaninglessness of the living, that reduces the energy of the people. The justfulness of living is reduced because of that. And many people are suffering because of that meaninglessness of life. So the whole thing starts with finding the purpose, making life more meaningful, and evolution of the consciousness. That should be the fundamental of education. Somehow I feel that our normal school and college education has missed out onto this very fundamental aspect of education, and that's why School of Success and Happiness was launched, and I'm doing that job for hundreds and thousands of people all over the world.
So good to hear. As you mentioned, yes, during my school time, my graduation, engineering, post graduation, PhD, I never encountered all these things. But in today's world, this is a need. Of course,
Yeah.
everything is available on the internet, but there is information overload, and this overload is making people break down. Yeah, maybe a month back, I was reading an article in which it mentioned that out of the total suicide in the world, 17% suicides are only in India. And out of those 17%, the big 70% are young adults. So in this today's scenario where everything is available, you go to the YouTube, you can find a video on how to remove the depression or how to overcome your anxiety or things like that. In my time and your time, when I have to purchase a book, I have to go to Delhi or send someone to Delhi to have that book. The thing was, books were not available. From Gwalior, it's a big city in MP, but even then, books were not available. I will have to go to Delhi or refer to meet the teachers and the IITs. It's something is not available. But in nowadays, even places, everything is available. But still, there is so much depression, frustration, or things like that. So all these things that you are mentioning is very, very important. Doctor, Saab, I just want to know when a person should know this life purpose. What is the right age, you think?
Okay. Before I answer you that question, let me add to what we discussed, that everything is available on the internet. Okay. The fundamental of this is one of the statement from my master Sri Dada Gavan is information does not bring about transformation.
Agreed.
People want transformative education. But you see, the education that we are getting, if you see our exam system is all about reading, remembering, reproducing, then you get the marks. Which means what? You are checking the memory of the students.
Yes.
So where is the evolution of consciousness? Where is the evolution of understanding, pratibha, the pragya? Those things are missing completely. So the earlier the student finds the life mission, the better it is. But of course, that some kind of maturity is required to understand the life mission. And let me tell you, person can find the life mission at any age. It keeps shifting, it keeps changing. So I think it's good to do this exercise 100 times, 200 times in lifetime, every now and then, because as you evolve, your life purpose also
Agreed.
evolves.
Agreed.
You see, it's like climbing the mountain. You go to certain higher height, you have a better view. Then you climb little more, you have still better view. So your view keeps changing. Same thing in the life, you attain to certain level. From that level, you can see better. So your life purpose will change, and then it will help you to move further up. So it's a dynamic process, and I have done my program for, say, as young as 10-year, 12-year students also have done this exercise of life purpose. They don't understand much, but at that moment, what is their life purpose? They will find something, they will write something. Maybe after completing the graduation, a much better place to understand. After 10 years of education and service, after 10 years of service, their life purpose will shift. After marriage, it will shift. So it keeps shifting, and it's good, because life is like flowing like the river. So there has to be flow in the life, and naturally the things will change. Our perception changes, the way we look at the life changes, and as we become more mature, our outlook will change, our attitudes will change, our perception will change, our value system also changes over a period of time. And that is what is the growth, that is what is the evolution. The more the changes come, the better it is, of course, for the positive side. More the evolution happens, the better it is. So finding the life purpose at any age, earliest possible, will definitely contribute to make the life more meaningful, and evolution of consciousness will happen in a better manner.
So good to listen. Now, sir, you have done engineering. I have also done engineering.
Yeah.
And of course, in the engineering, the scenario is not so good in the employment scenario as well. So, what do you think? Which kind of subject need to be introduced? Maybe it doesn't matter engineering or Ayurvedic or commerce or art. Which kind of subject need to be introduced to make people aware about all these things?
Yeah, I personally feel that our educational system need to change in a very big way. We are lagging behind by almost 50 years. See, whatever changes we are seeing, the technological upgradation is happening. See, whatever new technology is developing, if you see how fast it comes into IT industry, maybe within 2 to 3 years, it's
Yes.
available to masses. How fast the technology development happens in aeronautical engineering, it makes available very fast. Rocket engineering, super fast. Nuclear technology, super fast. Everything comes to defense very fast. But you see, our educational industry, there's a proper survey done by the institute, by some university people, proper research done all over the world, not only in India, all over the world. Educational industry is lagging behind minimum 50 years. Which means what? The time has come where educational industry has to take a quantum jump to cover up this 50 years lag which is there, and we should be changing the educational style in a very big way. See, number one thing is the number of subjects that I studied or you studied in 10 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2, those many years in schools and colleges. I don't think even 1% of that I'm using in my life or I ever use in my life. Which means most of the education, 99% of the education was useless. So the new educational system should be, yes, some basic education of language, mathematics, and all that has to be there up to 7th standard, some basic things, more of a learning activity oriented so that children enjoy. The exam system should not be there because it burdens and creates tension and anxiety in the children. It should be more of an activity based, and the mark should be calculated based on the activity. So the motor mechanism, the mind development, logic development has to happen. So that is good part. We must appreciate what is good. But maybe after 7th standard, we should allow students to choose what they want to do. Like what we do now, they must find their niche earliest possible. What is it that they want to do? And then they should become expert into that. There is no need to burden the students with so many subjects and so much of useless knowledge. Okay, that does not help to develop the consciousness of the child. What is more important is allow them to choose the subject that they want and let them go deeper and find their life mission, what they really enjoy doing, so that once they find the path of what they enjoy doing, they will start going deeper because of their own interests, and they will make their life better. Education must really result into making the life better. See, the fault is even today in India, what we are having is a British model, which was introduced by the Macaulay, and it was all for destroying the Indian culture. We all know the historical facts, and that is why majority of the India, even today, the students who come out from the college and all, have low self-esteem because this educational model is producing the clerk
Yes.
most of the time, you see. So we should not criticize because we are all the product of the same educational system. So it's not about criticism at all. That's not my way. But nevertheless, we must understand the facts properly, and we, as the educationists, must really do something to change the scenario. That is the main point. And for last so many years, I had been doing it for masses, now also at mass level, and educating people in the right way. But that is not enough. We must bring about new system of education mass level in the schools and colleges. Then only that quantum jump will happen, and we will cover up the 50 years of lag which is there. Okay, so we have to create the movement, we have to educate the masses, we have to create the pressure on the government, we have to make the education ministry understand that this is the need of an hour, and that quantum jump has to happen, and the educational system has to change in a very big way. Then only the evolution of human consciousness will happen. Otherwise this information will keep on burdening the human mind, and that does not result into transformation at all.
So good to hear your wisdom, Dr. Sir. As you mentioned that curriculum thing, I was a curriculum coordinator for a brief time in the Technical University of Government of MP when I was in the RGPB. We
Hmm.
used to conduct that conferences with industrialists, maybe HRs and the vice president, or sometimes with owners. Of course, we got some tips from them. What are their expectations? How we should move. But to be honest, because of the resistance of the faculty members, because they are not ready to change, because if we are going to introduce new things, they will have to learn new things. So maybe this was the thing. So to be honest, we could not implement that thing effectively. But now the scenario has changed, so we need to implement all these things. And as you mentioned, we also need to that life skills, life sciences, these things also need to be incorporated in the curriculum at different levels.
Yeah.
I think you must be aware that IITs have taken an initiative to start the orientation course in all the technical institution in the country, and I think that's a great initiative. And if implemented properly, it is going to help a lot to all the students.
Yeah.
So, moving ahead, sir, you have developed your own coaching methodology. So, we would like to know more about that.
Yeah. See, as I told you that I'm a very sensitive human being. I talk to people personally in thousands. Okay, I even walk on my feet and go to different villages. Doing padayatra. So I have traveled to interiors of India, meeting, going to different villages, meeting the people. I have seen the human life at a very grassroots level. I have seen the pain of the people. आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस, मैंने महसूस किया है लोगों के दिल का दर्द. And being a sensitive person, I felt that I must do research to find out how we can help anybody. So I started working on this model, and I stumbled upon a methodology with the 9 levels of depth that I labeled as Premtao personal coaching model, because that is a way of counseling, coaching any person, whether educated, uneducated or not. Simple type of structured model. If you go step by step, it will create a kind of clarity in the person, help him find the life purpose, which is the part of the model, and he will find out exactly what he needs to do. So this 9 levels of depth will click to everybody, and the deeper you go, the more you will find some spiritual truth of life, which is very much wanted. What has happened is, in this British model of education, many people, many educated people who understand the importance of spiritual dimension of life, they shy away from talking about it, saying that this is not acceptable, or it is not in vogue, it's not cool to be spiritual. and that kind of myths are there. Okay, if you understand the model of the rishi culture, how did the gurukuls operate in ancient India? Recently, a friend of mine did the research and he says that there were as many gurukuls as many villages in the ancient India, which means every village on an average had one gurukul, and all the children who got the gurukul education, they got a life oriented education. And the person who goes back to home fully capable of handling life, fully capable of earning, being helpful to others, enjoying life. That was the part of our educational system. Ever since the slavery of Britishers and other people started, India has lost its soul. Average self-esteem of Indian has come down because this educational system creating clerks is not good enough. So we need to either go back to the ancient system or create a new system now that the technology is there. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who are doing wonderful job creating their own schools, and they are bringing in kind of a modern online gurukuls. Okay. So I think there is a technology available now at a very low cost, and many good people who are in education who understand that we need to change. They should not be waiting for the government and all. If more and more people who understand, they start their own educational system, we can actually help thousands of people create a kind of a movement over the period of time. All these things will get absorbed into the standard curriculum in schools and colleges, but we must start somewhere. The starting has to be happen. And why should I depend on somebody else? I am a citizen of India and I must take up the responsibility. When I understood, I started the school, started talking, and whosoever invites me, I'll be very happy to go contribute in my own way and create a kind of a huge movement across India so that we change and improve the self-esteem of an average Indian person. All right. So we need to do a lot of corrections in the educational system, and that is the key point where the transformation will happen. Not just with the information that we are getting online, there has to be a human touch. Now see, because of the corona, everything is online, but students are feeling suffocated because that human touch is missing.
Miss.
Children want to go to school, they want to meet their classmates, they want to play with them, and that is the joy of schooling, which is missing because now the school is in the mobile. Yeah.
Sir, although you have answered my question to some extent, still I
Yeah.
would like to know more. We are culturally rich people, Indians, में. Even though with so much background of so much heritage, we as Indians, we are so low on the happiness index. What are the other regions? You mentioned some points, but what are the other regions? Why we are so unhappy?
I have done my own research on happiness quotient. In fact, uh, I have not mentioned in my bio, but I have created the scales which are now internationally used for measuring the happiness quotient. And I have a proper module to help the governments on how to find the happiness quotient of the citizen. I have done the measurement of happiness quotient across the departments in the corporate world, and I have got proper skills created my own. I'm an inventor of those skills, and I patented those skills of how to find the happiness quotient in different environment. So multiple skills are created, and I have used those skills for more than 10,000 people. I have personally measured the happiness quotient, so I understand the methodology. Now, why happiness quotient is low in India? I have my own insights which I can share. Uh, First and foremost is our educational system being not fine-tuned to our environment because we are using the Macaulay model, which is the British model. It's not suitable for the Indian culture. It is suitable for producing the clerks. Low self-esteem model. You know why? Because this educational system, that model that we have, Britishers wanted people to speak in English and report to the government. That model, and we have still not come out of that slavery mentality. That's why overall low self-esteem, low happiness quotient. The moment we change the educational system, start improving our self-esteem, start appreciating our own local goods, Let me tell you the data. I have done this thing survey. Many people, when they consider that goods are manufactured abroad, they think they are better. Goods are manufactured in India, they are not good. You know, there is a typical slice of the society which even today believe that goods manufactured abroad are better. Not necessarily. Many goods which you are buying in American market may be made in India, and you will buy back from US, bring it to India, but they are originally manufactured in India. So why this is happening is because of the slavery mentality. Even in the training field, let me tell you, in the corporate world also, I have seen this kind of change of mentality. Let me tell you exactly, honestly, I have seen this happening. If a trainer with a fair skin is invited by the corporate world, is paid much higher, while more competitive trainers are available locally.
Yes.
Okay. Now this is not only in India. I was in Dubai 3 years back. What I saw, a company in Dubai was paying more salary to a British origin person, and for the same job, a IITian was hired, and company was paying less than one third of the salary for the same job that company was paying to a person of British origin. So this IITian came to me for the counseling, asking what shall I do. See, I said, you are in a country which is open to all the cultures. You put your foot down and demand that this kind of discrimination will not tolerate. Otherwise, I'm not willing to join. So he brought the pressure, he put his foot down, and he got the salary same as that of a British origin person. So this kind of discrimination is happening all over the world because of low self-esteem. Majority of the Indians are not talking about it, and even to talk about it like on a public platform like this, many people think it is not cool. My dear friends, if we don't take the stand, who will take the stand? It's not the matter whether it is cool or not, it is the matter of our self-esteem, our children's self-esteem. It is the future of India. We must take a stand, talk it in a decent manner. We are peace loving people. We don't attack anybody. We don't criticize anybody. But nevertheless, we should not be the spineless people. We should not mince the words when it comes to talking the truth. We must lovingly, assertively put across our point, help the world understand that we are capable people. We have our own capabilities, and we should not operate from the low self-esteem. If you tell me why the happiness quotient of India is low, my first major answer will be, my own survey, my own understanding is, average Indian is suffering with low self-esteem, even though we are a very capable people by culture. Okay, the data shows that our scientists are no way lesser, you see. Our technologists are no way lesser, our engineers are better. In fact, our engineers are only building the best of the best anywhere in the world. Our doctors are most respected all over the world, which means our talent is no way lesser. What is important is that self-esteem that we should have for the talent that we have is not matching. Talent is very high, the self-esteem is very low. That is the major reason of low happiness quotient of India. And if you ask what is the cause behind the cause, the reason behind the reason, the pain behind the pain, it is in the crooked strategies of
Yes.
Britishers that they really destroyed the Indian educational system from where that self-esteem was coming. Because that is destroyed, now average Indian has a very low self-esteem, and that is why the low happiness quotient is there. So we should bring back our self-esteem, confidence, have pride in what we are doing, and happiness quotient of India will definitely grow. We are not lacking in resources. In fact, we are the most resourceful people. We have the youngest English speaking masses compared to anywhere in the world. We can beat anybody. Our skill levels are very high. Average India is young, about 35 is the average age. I was just reading a survey. Average Indian is young, which means for next 5 years belong to India. If we really start helping average Indian to improve the self-esteem, improve the happiness quotient, We start believing in ourselves, we develop the confidence, we start reaching out to the world through all the technology that we have. I think within 5 years' time, we will see the super India. Okay, world will see, and average happiness quotient of Indian will be growing in a very big way in the coming days.
You're very right, Doctor. From where to start? What needs to be done? We know to some extent. From where to start so that it can make a sustainable movement.
Yeah. Like when I became clear on this, I started using it in my own way. Whosoever invited me, any platform, I started talking about it. And the thoughts are gaining momentum. Everybody start doing the same thing because this is for the all of us. Join hands, make it a movement, start contributing whichever way we can. And in my circle now, if anybody criticizes that Indian goods are bad, I immediately correct that person. If anybody is insulting India as a country, I put my foot down and correct those people, of course, lovingly. But we should be lovingly assertive to
Yes.
correct those people. As a group, we were traveling in Malaysia, and the guide was talking about India with not the proper tone. I stood up, went in front of the audience, talked to the guide. This is not acceptable. You must learn to respect the great country that we belong to. What you are talking is not true. I showed him the proof. See, what you are quoting is not true. Please correct yourself. And then he changed. He even apologized in front of the audience. Which means what? If we as individual take the stand, we have the capacity to change. And that power, that confidence we must have. So all of us, we start operating from healthy self-esteem. India, let me tell you, had never been aggressive. We are the most tolerant by culture. India never attacked anybody in last 10,000 years history. India was attacked by everybody, but India never attacked. So we are the most tolerant country. But now that tolerance is considered as a weakness,
Yes.
that is where we should bring about the change. We are tolerant. Yes, by culture we are tolerant. We don't attack anybody, but we will not tolerate if somebody is attacking the self-esteem of India, if somebody is criticizing the quality of Indian goods, not acceptable because we are world class. We have to improve and we have to show to the world that we are world class producers of every goods that we produce. And we must take pride in the quality and the competitiveness that we have. And average Indian must improve in self-esteem, have greater confidence. Every one of us can do that and let it gain the momentum. It will become a huge moment within 5 years' time with all the technology that we have. I'm sure we can transform the country.
Very well, sir. Let me put my perspective on it. In our
Yeah.
society, I think there is one thing that I pointed out. That I have made my own research and I find out that in our society, we put lots of emphasis on weaknesses, starting from the, parents, parents, neighbors, relatives, even siblings, where you are weak. We used to point out whether even in school teachers put notes on you are weak in this subject, you need to put more attention to this. So even whether it is home, at in school, in college, at jobs, most of the time weaknesses are being pointed out instead of strengths. People are being told that you, if you improve your in this weakness, you will do great, you will earn a lot. So instead of focusing on strength, that person find himself or herself in that loop of weaknesses. He or she keep on trying improving weakness, but it's a very difficult task. So he or she could not find energy or time to focus on his strength. So I also think that this is also one point of low self-esteem and the lower happiness. What do you think about that?
Yeah. See, it's always good to emphasize on the strength. You see, I did my MBA postgraduate studies in strategies. So I did study the strategies of war. I did study the Chanakya Niti, Vidur Niti, Krishna Niti. Krishna Niti was one of my subject. So as a matter of strategy, you see the wars are won on the strength. So, as a matter of strategy, if we start focusing on the strength, the chances of winning are highest. But there is one thing associated with that. When our weakness does not allow us to grow, that moment we have to tackle the weakness. Otherwise, your strengths will bring you to a certain level, and then your growth stops. I think for India, this is what has happened. That by culture we started focusing too much on our weaknesses, which is wrong for sure. So we must shift to the strength. And when the weakness is becoming a problem, then it should be tackled, because you still need to tackle a weakness. Let me tell you, it's a part
Yes.
of the strategy. But the attention and the major focus for sure, it should be on the strength. So 80-20 rule will be applicable there. 80% focus power should be given to the strength, and go ahead with that. When a weakness becomes an issue or not allowing you to learn and grow, then you must tackle it headlong.
Yes, I agree with you that 80% focus should be given to strength and 20% to the weakness. Sometimes I used to tell my students that strengthen your strengths and manage your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be a funda to outsource your work or take help from others like that to manage your weaknesses so that you keep on focusing on your strength and keep on growing in your own domain. Doctor, you are a role model. You must be a role model for thousands of people around there. And of course, we see in our role model so many strengths. So, of course, you have so many strengths. But would you like to tell us few of your strengths that have made huge transformation in you?
I don't know whether those two will be considered as the strengths or the characteristics of the person, but let me tell you, I'm a very blessed person. Right from my childhood, I met Jiddu Krishnamurti, my master Dada Gavan, and so many other spiritual master giants. They really contributed to my life, and I'm very grateful to all those giants who have contributed. India is a spiritual country. Modern this educated person is finding that aspect, which is most beautiful aspect, somewhere people are avoiding, educated people are avoiding. Okay, so that should not be there. My strength is helping youngsters to understand their roots. Our roots of India are in the spiritual culture, rishi culture, gurukul culture, and that is the major strength that gives me the power to reach out to the masses. So that is one major strength which I would like to tell to our viewers, to our audience who are listening to the podcast. And everybody, if start doing that, self-esteem will improve, happiness quotient will improve, things will start improving. Okay, so we have to change the perception. We must bring that being spiritual is cool for the youngsters. If you can bring that change in the perception that being spiritual is cool, suddenly the culture will transform. India will have better happiness quotient, better self-esteem, better earning, more happiness, more joy. Okay, so the strengths, being human, being sensitive, good listening capacity, good understanding, communication power, empathy, you know, uh, listening or knowing the pain behind the pain, connecting to the human being with love, with compassion. These are the strengths we must be talking about, and we must appreciate, because whatever we appreciate comes to us. I
Yes.
think these are the things which makes a human being a better human being, a leader a better leader, a teacher a better teacher, a parent a better parent. So these are human values, and I think these are the strengths which one should learn to appreciate, because whatever we appreciate comes to us.
Yes, I fully agree with you with your stance. But I observed that with these strengths, we are called old school students
Huh.
because the modern generation may not agree with all these things.
Huh. But that's why I did the research, and you see, majority of my audience is young, educated people, and because I show my research, I show the results on the spot, and so thousands and thousands of people are now able to understand what I'm talking, because I'm supporting with all the proofs, the research that I have done.
So I can see some instruments behind you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's related with sound healing. So
Yes.
can you brief us about the sound healing, what it is, how it helps, and how you are helping so many people with this?
Yeah. See, I started doing research on sound when one young lady came. She was having this continuous anxiety attacks, not able to read, concentrate on reading, and attend to the exams and all. So I thought that there should be a simpler device to help people to come out of anxiety and all. And then that time I was with Osho Ashram. I met a person who was doing the sound healing, and I tried that. I got one singing ball, Tibetan singing ball like this, and I tried my first therapy with that lady who was having the anxiety attack, and I got the excellent results. So this gives a sound of different frequencies. So you can see the sound tapers off and it quietens the mind. So what we did is we put these electrodes on the brain, and we connected to the computer, and we measured the effect of the sound on the human brain waves. And what we saw, that there's a fantastic relaxing effect. So from the beta waves, suddenly we see that a person is drifting to alpha. Alpha state waves are very good for learning and all. So children, students can really use it for quietening the mind, and they become very much focused in their education, in their homework, in their learning. And what we saw, that if we shift towards the theta level, maximum healing happens. Not only body healing, even mind healing happens. So anxiety, stress, tension, depression can be healed with the theta waves in a very nice manner. And there are some special frequencies which really relax you in a big way. And one of the frequencies is 432 hertz. So 432 hertz is a nature frequency, and I did very specific research on special frequencies which can bring about the miraculous change in the human mind. So I developed my own. This is my own invention. Right from the scratch, I created. These are the tune healing pipes, and so it gives only single frequency. So what I am having right now is 432, which is the nature frequency, and it reduces the stress level. So I have a stress meter with me, which can measure the stress level. A person who has a very high level of stress, we measure the stress, we record. Then 30 minutes of this session with only this frequency 432, and we measure it again, and we see quantifiable change, and the stress reduces in a big way. So this very specific frequency tune healing pipes is my creation, and I'm the inventor of elemental vibrational therapy. That with this kind of specific frequencies, vibrations, we can actually heal body level diseases. We can heal the mental disorders, mental issues. Mental health is a very important factor these days, and trauma healing can be done in a very nice manner. So a team of doctors is now doing research on this in clinical conditions. Already a lot of research has happened. We have a Jupiter hospital in Thane, and there are doctors who are using these pipes in clinical condition. So super specialty research is happening for last 7 years. Thousands of people have been benefited with the healing effect of sound. And I have my book on elemental vibrational therapy, which will be published soon. It's ready. Manuscript is ready. We'll be publishing it soon.
Very good.
Yeah.
You are also done the research on that Kriya yoga and meditation, and so many people are confused about the right kind of meditation, what they
Yeah.
should do, how they should do. Everyone knows that meditation is very very effective, but most of the people are not able to do it in the right way. So please tell us what is the right way and how to do it.
Yeah, in fact, about 12 years back, we stumbled upon this idea of doing the research because we have the good scientific temperament people, team of doctors with us. It's an international team. We have people from USA, Singapore, UAE, India, Australia. So it's an international team of research scientists, and it was a huge, one of the largest ever research done. We decided you see, we put the electrodes on the brain and took the baseline readings day one without any practice, all novice, okay, people who have not done any Kriya yoga or meditation. Those type of people we selected in a very proper manner. It took us almost 2 months to get those people. It's not easy. So a lot of sorting out had to happen. The pregnant women were not allowed, or the breastfeeding women were not allowed because we can't do certain experiments with them. So very selected people were there, and as per the ethics, so ethics committee approval and all that happened, and we started doing this experiment. So we took the baseline readings and all, and then we helped people to practice it for 48 days continuously, once in a day. So our volunteers were reminding, and we were controlling that yes, people are doing certain things. And after 48 days, once again, before Kriya and after Kriya. So total 4 readings were taken: day one, before and after; day 48, before and after. So total 4 readings were taken, and we started analyzing. And what we saw, that tremendous amount of neuroplasticity. Brain has the capacity to change if we know how to trigger those points. So people believed that neuroplasticity is only in the children. No, the neuroplasticity is there across the age, everybody. If you practice certain things in a certain way, your brain neural network changes. That is what the neuroplastic concept is. And we proved that with Kriya Yoga and meditation. Tremendous amount of changes happen, and certain abilities simply jumped up, quality of life jumped up. We have proper scales, internationally accepted, biomarkers are there, certain skills are there. We use all the international quality paper, whatever the devices are there, the skills are there, and we saw that the quality of life improves big way. People's anxiety levels and all are low, the feel good factor is better. But it's not just the feel good factor. In the scientific terminology, we measured it with the quality of life scale, and we saw that so many parameters, like say heart rate variability is one of the accepted biomarker. Thousands of research paper you will see, they are using heart rate variability as a basic biomarker for the research, and it proves that heart rate variability improves with all these things. Brain waves for sure improves. Overall response, like the blood pressure will normalize, the heartbeat pulse will normalize, sharpness, focus improves, the stress levels comes down. These are the all proven advantages of breath work and meditation. That is what the research is all about. It's published in the international journal, and the links are available on my website, drpremjinirmal.com.
Sir, still, I'm sorry to put it again, but yes, you have told us already. But what a layman person or a normal person, how can do this meditation effectively?
Yes, for a normal person, you see, meditation doesn't demand any education. So I don't think there is any special advantage with the educated man compared to the uneducated man, because the basic meditation starts when you bring your attention to your breathing process. So anybody who is capable of becoming aware of the breathing, which is a physical process going on all the time, that is the first step of meditation. And that in itself has the power to take you much deeper and make you quiet, reduce the stress, and all the advantages are available to you if just one simple step of bringing your attention to the breathing is done properly. That brings about tremendous amount of changes in the human system, very well documented and recorded, and there are thousands of papers on this, research papers on this.
Okay. So good. So, sir, in nowadays, as you mentioned, that there is so many distractions, maybe WhatsApp or Facebook, and so people find it very difficult to focus on all these things. So, if a person has 15 minutes time to all this time, so how you would like to suggest him what to do and how to do? Is there any?
Yeah. The research shows that people who do meditation directly do not get much breakthrough or major advantages of meditation. Research also shows that anybody who does some kind of a pranayam in the beginning or kriya, some breath work, which improves the vitality, and the cells of the body should vibrate at high frequency. So suppose if you have got only 20 minutes every day, which majority of the people can manage 20 minutes. So 5 minutes you do some kind of a breath work, maybe deep breathing, rapid breathing, normal breathing, whatever suitable to you. But attention on the breath and some kind of breathing activity has to be there, which will make you more vital. Pran Shakti should increase. And then you just bring the attention to the breath and sit quietly. Now the research shows that the this kind of kriya plus meditation, okay, so 5 minutes of kriya, 15 minutes of meditation, tremendously powerful. Real proper research shows that people who do like this, they get amazing results. Okay, so instead of just sitting silently in meditation, do some kriya pranayam, some breathing exercises for 5 minutes, and then 15 minutes of silence watching the breath. Research shows there will be excellent results. So this methodology can be taught to anybody. Simple pranayam, which are very popular in India, like Kapalbhati, Bastrika, Anulam Vilom, Brahmari. These are some of the basic pranayam most of the people know. Whatever suits you, do it for the 5 minutes, and then Anapansati Dhyan, just watching the breath. Fantastic results are possible.
Thank you, Doctor. You just, I was about to ask you my own process. Actually, I used to do this. I used first I do Vastrika. Of course, I used to do some yoga. After that, I do Vastrika, then Anulom Vilom, then chanting of Om, and then actually I have attended the Sri Sri program for that thing. So and then do I meditation. So it takes around 30 minutes time. So I was just about to ask you whether I'm doing it the right way or not. Right? You already told me that yeah, I'm doing it the right way. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, you are helping so many people. Still, there are lots of people who want to reach you. So, how they can approach you or reach you?
Okay, all my details are available on my website, drpremjinirmal.com. I'm there on Facebook, YouTube, Quora, Insta, all social medias. I'm quite active. So, and I make it a point, early as possible, I answer everybody personally. So, I'll be very happy to connect to all the audience, people who are watching us on the video, people who are listening to this podcast. I'm a very open person. I love to connect to the people. Even though as an engineer, I become a machine person in the beginning, but I found that I'm not a machine person. I'm a people person. I love to connect heart to heart with the people. Okay. That is one of my strengths. And I enjoy connecting to people heart to heart, helping them, contributing them, learning from each other. And I think that is the richness of life. We must learn from each other, have a proper dialogue, understand, and life becomes richer with every experience. I'm sure our dialogue today would have contributed little bit to the people who are watching us or listening to this podcast.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sabi. It must have. I personally have got a new insight, and I'm pretty sure that the audience has must have got so many positive things, and that can help them in their transformation. Thank you so much for being available and providing so much wisdom. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you for inviting me for your podcast, for your video, and bye bye to all the viewers, to all the listeners. My message, last message, parting message is I love you all. And it is the love and the compassion. These are the qualities which really make us human. And we must learn to grow in the dimension of love and compassion. And that's being human for all of us. So thank you very much.
For the
Namaste
part
to all.
for the parting wisdom. Thank you, sir.